Hey guys, it's Jenkins again. This is the second problem off of your agenda, independent practice, systems of equations, solving systems of equations using the method that we call substitution, which means we're going to solve for one variable, find what that is, and then input it into the other equation to find the answer to the other variable. We're talking in terms of x and y here. So these are all lines. There are no squares, there are no cubes. So they're very easy to sort of work through. It just takes a little bit, and as long as you follow all the rules for solving equations, you're gonna be just fine. So this is number 2. Let's do it together. It's 2x minus 3y equal to -1. That's the first linear equation. And then we have y is equal to x minus 1. That's the second linear equation. So I'm gonna look in right here first. This one is very useful because it's already solved in terms of y, right? We already know another name for y is x minus 1, and that's very useful. I didn't have to move anything around. I already know that y is equal to x minus 1. That's what y is, right? So you can call it y or you can call it x minus 1, but that number is the same. So it's like a different name for the same thing. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to substitute that little secret name into the first equation. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to rewrite, so 2x, we don't know what x is, minus 3y, but I do know that y has this other secret name right here, and y's other name is called x minus 1. That's what y is. So instead of writing y, I'm going to write its other name, which is x minus 1. So I have 2x minus 3y, which is x minus 1, is equal to -1. So that is my new equation, right? Substituted in for y. So now all I have to do is just solve the equation like I normally would, starting with parentheses, distributing the 3 into this. So 2x is going to drop down, of course. -3 times x is -3x. Now, -3 times -1 is going to be a positive 3, a negative times a negative is a positive, and that's going to equal -1. Now I just do some combining of like terms. So I have a 2x and a -3x, which combines to a -1x. And then I have a positive 3, and that equals -1. So I'm almost there. So -1 will drop down. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 3 from this side. So that's going to mean that -1 minus 3 is going to be -4. So now I have -1x, that's x is equal to -4. Well, positive x is going to be equal to positive 4. So x is going to be 4 in this system of equations. But what is y? Again, it's very easy because we just take x's other name and input it into one of the equations. So if I know that y is x minus 1, I know that x is 4. Let me just take this and substitute it there, which I'll do now. Y is equal to x minus 1. We know that x is 4 again. 4 minus 1, which is equal to, you should see that's 3. So in this system of equations, while x is 4, y is equal to 3. Is equal to 3. Here you are right here. So this is how you solve systems of equations using the substitution method. Remember, look for an equation that's solved, right, in terms of one of the variables, like y is equal to. That means that you already know the secret name of that variable, and go and input that wherever you see that variable in the other equation. Go ahead and solve it. Then you know the other variable. Take that and go back to the equation and put it back in. If you have any trouble with that, look back on this video, pause it, and practice it. If you have any other difficulties with this, meet us on Zoom tomorrow, and then we can work them out. Let us know if you have any questions.